narrow therapeutic index. To non-medical people, this might mean nothing to you, but to those of us in medical field, nurses and physicians, we need to take into account the therapeutic index of the medication we are prescribing. And since I publish many medications, I need to address this as well. I'm not a pharmacist, but without further ado, let's examine what narrow therapeutic index is all about. Let's take the first note. Therapeutic index is the same thing as therapeutic ratio, and it's all about drug safety. The larger the value, the safer the drug. Pharmaceutical companies are helping us a lot putting this into consideration before telling us that so-so dosage will be enough and at so-so dosage we might have toxicity. The effective dose might be effective in many people, might be little in some other people. Under certain conditions, like someone that is frail or someone having organ failure, the effective dose might turn to be little. Now, there is another entity known as therapeutic window anytime you are talking about therapeutic index, and that is the safety window. How do I mean? In therapeutic window, you have the minimum dose that is effective, okay? And you also have the minimum dose that is toxic. So in between this is the therapeutic window, meaning the dose that is effective and the level you're going to reach that you're going to be faced with toxic effects of that medication. The gap in between is the window for us to prescribe back and forth. So we have peace of mind at therapeutic window, or we have less concern when the drug is still within therapeutic window. Now, the narrow therapeutic index proper. In any medication we give, we're going to find the amount of that drug that is effective in 50% of the population. That is ED, effective dose in 50% of the population. That is what we're going to find in the textbooks. At the same time, you are going to find the amount or concentration of that drug that will cause toxicity in 50% of the population, so TD50. The difference here between the two, the ratio of these and these is the therapeutic index. For example, don't bother ahead about all these, jargons, yeah? Let me go into the example. That'll make it clearer. I have two examples here. Example 1. Effective dose in 50% of population is 5 milligram. I just formed it, okay? While the toxic dose in 50% of population is 100 milligram. The ratio will come down to 20. That is pretty large. While in example 2, the effective dose is 3 milligram, while the toxic dose is 6 milligram. Therapeutic index here will be 2. You see that is narrow, is low. So example 1 here, this one is large or wide therapeutic index. While example 2, this very one, which 2, is narrow therapeutic index, meaning a little increase can be catastrophic. You can judge it yourself. The one with wide therapeutic index, you can give 5 milligram and the patient will feel better, and you need to give up to 100 milligram before we run into trouble. While the other one, the 3 milligram, will make the patient feel better, and just 6 milligram will cause the trouble. You can see that one is wider, the other one is narrow. Now let's quickly go through examples of some medications that are categorized to have narrow therapeutic index: Colchicine, Quinidine, Flecainide, Levothyroxine, Heparin, Warfarin, Lithium, Digoxin, Phenobarbitone, Phenytoin, Carbamazepine, Amphotericin B, and Aminoglycosides. But these will not be the only medications with narrow therapeutic index. You can find out from your pharmacist. Any drug with narrow therapeutic index must be dosed carefully, must be administered with precision, and must be taken as recommended. The patient or recipient must be followed more closely or carefully. That is why we'll assay for the level in the serum before another dose, like we do in lithium. Signs of toxicity or side effects must be reported by the recipient so that the physician can address such promptly. In case you want to learn more, why therapeutic index will have value of little dose in 50% of population to be very large, while the effective dose will be smaller, and the ratio will be large, and the therapeutic window will also be large. In that case, the risk of severe side effects or toxicity or little effect will be very low. Finally, the value of little dose is not far from effective dose, and the difference is small, the ratio is small, therapeutic window is small, all in narrow therapeutic index. Therefore, the risk of severe side effects or the risk of toxicity or that of the little effect is pretty high in narrow therapeutic index. In this case, we have to be extremely careful with all those with narrow therapeutic index. With that, I've come to the end of this short presentation as per narrow therapeutic index. Once it is indicated that this medication has narrow therapeutic index, we have to be extremely careful, not only by the prescribing officer alone, that is physicians or nurse practitioners, but the patient as well, so that they be extremely careful, that they are honest with the physician whether they're taking the medication or not, and we can assay for the level in the serum, of course, but don't overdose as well. Thanks for listening. Please remember to share this. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it.